Hey, in today's message, I'm going to be talking about the need to be completely healed to feel good enough. In the last video I did, I've actually talked, I ended up combining because they work together, having to feel that I have to be perfect at everything, and where it really stems from, it's the same thing. It's because you got to feel good enough. You got to be perfect to feel good enough. Perfect in your relationship, perfect in your life, perfect in your business, perfect what you're creating. All these things having to feel perfect at everything. Perfection has to be there because you don't feel good enough. The confidence isn't there, so that you got to be perfect. But the thing is it never shows up. The same thing with this is having to be completely healed, which I actually end up talking about in another video because they kind of play together. And I went, oh shit, I kind of put both of those videos together and they were supposed to be separate, but they're really together. But I'm still going to share this anyway. So we're going to be diving into this need and desire to be completely healed in order to be good enough, and how my own story, this is where it came from, of believing that I had to be perfectly healed in order to get the relationship, the healthy relationship, the life that I wanted, in order to feel good enough and deserving enough. I'm going to dive deeper into this, just in case you haven't watched that video. I'm going to dive specifically into this, so don't go nowhere. Welcome back. My name is Tony Fonte. How you doing? You fucking awesome weirdo, you. Yeah, you fucking awesome weirdo. What's happening? I help you reignite the 4 P's, your passion. Yeah, I help you reignite the 4 P's, your passion, your power, your purpose, and your playfulness. Preach it. To create a deeper connection in your life and your relationships. Boom. All right, let's dive into this message of having this belief that you have to be perfectly healed in order to feel good enough. And these are so many different layers that I have gone through, feeling like I had this idea that I had to be perfectly healed, and actually felt like, because of that, felt like everything had to be hard in order for me to feel deserving of it. So even me healing had to be hard, because the other alternative, healthy and having more peace and having more freedom and flow and ease, was unfamiliar to me. And when something's unfamiliar to us, and unconsciously to our body and to our mind, unconsciously, because of the old stories of what's been trained in our bodies and conditioned in our bodies from childhood and past lives and all that other shit, when it's unfamiliar, it's scary. So we tend to sabotage it and like push it away or reject it or somehow go back to our old ways, because that's familiar and safe, even though it's not serving us anymore. Until you become aware of it, this is what keeps happening. Why do I keep moving forward and I sabotage? It's because you're going back to the familiar, because you're fucking scared. It's like, well, I got to be perfect. I got to be completely healed. And this is what I'm going to really talk about. And try to go away from the perfect piece of it, because I talked about both of these in the last video, talking about how you have to be perfect. Being completely healed. I thought I had to be completely healed in order to have a healthy relationship. And when I was in a relationship, I was constantly doing this fucking work, trying to prove myself that I was good enough. I tried to do that with my dad. In my own healing, this is how I got addicted to healing. It's because I thought that I had to be perfectly and completely healed to feel good enough. But the problem is I never felt good enough. I'd always shifted, no matter how close I got to feeling like, okay, when I get to this level of healing, I'll be good enough. When I feel this certain way and this insecurity isn't coming up, then I'm fucking good enough to be in this relationship, and she'll love me. And she won't reject me. She won't leave me. That was the fear, which is also tied to abandonment wounds. Go back and watch that video too. Tied to abandonment wounds. I had to be completely healed. I had to be completely healed in order to feel strong enough, to be fucking man enough. Not to feel weak. Insecurity is weak. I can't show it. I gotta hide it. I can only share so much of it. Because I'm a pretty vulnerable guy, but as you go deeper, it's like, nope, I can't share some of this. She's gonna fucking leave. Taking responsibility for how she feels. I gotta be completely healed to have the fucking life that I want, to have the business that I want. I can't have the doubts and the worries and the lack of confidence come up. I gotta have it all figured out But in order for me to have it all figured out, I have to have myself figured out completely. I have to get rid of the shadow altogether. I have to reject the ego. All of it. And we get addicted to healing. And we keep spinning the wheels and we stay stuck in the dark night of the soul. And I was actually stuck in the dark night of the soul and addicted to the dark night of the soul because it felt safe and comfortable with me, because the fucking unknown, if I come out of that, what does that fucking mean? What does real love fucking mean? What does that feel like? What does having true peace feel like? What does being free fucking feel like? And I've had moments of these. I've had moments of having fucking fun in life too. And people are like, man, did you learn how to have fun? I do. But I was being pushed to new levels and it was scary. What does it fucking mean to really love? To have true fucking love when there's not an attachment from the past. What does true love mean? Where I'm free to be myself in the fucking relationship. I don't know. It's fucking scary. Oh, I can't feel this insecurity. I can't feel this thing. So I got to continue on doing this healing. I got to be completely healed and say, look, I'm doing the healing. I'm doing this work. You see this thing. And then they're getting frustrated because like I'm constantly in this fucking this ripple effect. They don't want to talk about the healing all the time, but I was trying to prove myself. I was trying to prove that I was good enough. Look at me showing up in these videos. Look at me showing up, putting these things out here. Look at me do these things. Am I good enough? Still trying outside of me to get that in within. Outside, like, no, I'm already good enough. You can't completely heal to be good enough. You got to accept all aspects of yourself. Own every part of you. And as you're doing it, you feel more good enough. But you're already good enough. No matter what. You're deserving of fucking healthy relationship now, whether you're familiar with what it feels like or not. Just being aware that, hey, I don't know what that fucking really feels like. That's kind of scary to me. Just bringing awareness to it. But I want to experience it. And I understand that as I start experiencing it, I'm going to feel this resistance within. But I don't have to react to that resistance. I can feel through that resistance saying, it's not true. Let's fucking go over here. I know where this is resistance coming from. It's coming from the past because the past is chaos. The past is emotional unavailability. The past is abandoning myself, losing my identity and other things. And that's what's familiar because it felt like home. But we're creating a new home. But you can't really step into that new home by holding on to this whole thing of trying to completely heal. Thinking you're weak if you don't get rid of your insecurities completely. Fuck, I have some of my coaches who make millions of dollars. They still struggle with confidence. Each level they move to. They still struggle with it. They're just stronger than where they were. So it looks like they fucking have it all together. But they struggle. And you know what's cool? Is they fucking share it. Which makes you feel connected. Being able to share, I'm fucking dealing with this insecurity now with my partner. How are they going to react? It's none of your fucking business how they react. Chances are they'll fucking open up. But when you're in this perpetual healing cycle, you can push them away because you feel like you got to, but you're pushing them away. You're not letting them in fully and they're not letting you in fully. And you keep attracting those same things until you fucking finally learn a cycle of, wait, I don't have to fucking be healed all the way. I literally thought that I had to completely heal my insecurities in order to really grow my business. I had to be completely confident and stay in my confidence in order to really show up and build what I want to build. To be confident, to be the man and to lead in my fucking relationship and not have any insecurity in my relationship. That if she sensed the insecurity in me, that she was going to reject and leave. Not trust me, not feel safe with me. And really what it was is me not feeling safe with me. And again, those things may happen, but it has nothing to fucking do with how healed you are. You are already fucking good enough. And I am talking to myself. You are already fucking good enough. Breathe that shit in. Breathe it in. Let go of this fucking false belief, the stupid ass fucking lie that says you can't have any insecurities, that you have to have it completely figured out, that you can't mess up. When I began this journey of wanting to overcome my anger to become the best dad and man I can be for my daughter, because I was trying to be tired. I mean, you didn't know what side you were going to get of me. This fun, loving, happy, having fun and making people laugh, Tony, dad, or this fucking angry guy who would just fucking snap and flip and be emotionally, mentally, and physically abusive. You didn't fucking know. But I was battling on the inside. And as I began this journey, I'm going to figure it out. I thought I couldn't get fucking mad. I couldn't fall short. And I beat myself up when I fucking did. I finally had to let that go. I just owned it. Own it. Hey, I have this fucking insecurity. I'm feeling unlovable right now. And that might be fucking scary to share with your partner. And they may feel this resistance because they're not fucking used to that. But you do it anyway. And that the more you do it, the stronger you become, the more confident you feel. Because you're going to get different feedback and they're going to show up different. But it also allows them to fucking work through their shit. And they resist you at first. It's their shit and it's okay. Doesn't mean stop. They have the opportunity to come forward. And if it's too much for them, then they leave. Fuck, you open up to someone new. Don't just shut down and say, well, fuck, I'm not good enough. I got to be completely healed, which I have done. It was only recently in the last few months that I decided to fucking step forward, step out and start doing these things. Yeah, I'm sharing this now, but it's only been a few months that I fucking made a decision. I'm going to take imperfect action. It was coaches telling me, take imperfect action. And when you do, you'll start building the confidence as you take this imperfect aligned action towards what your body feels, your intuition is telling you. Do the fucking thing. And as you do the fucking thing and you face the fears as they're coming up, you feel the confidence build inside you. You feel the passion build inside you. You get clarity on your purpose and moving forward, and you start to fucking feel this fire within, and you feel that right now from me. If you go back and look at watch some of my older videos, you'll feel the energy. I was sharing the thing, but I was fucking scared. Do the thing. Show the fuck up. Share the insecurity. Communicate effectively. That's how you fucking build deeper connection. And realize you're going to trigger that in other people. You're going to trigger that in your partner. And that's okay. You're meant to. In a loving way. So they can start dealing with their shit too. If they choose to. It's not your responsibility. You're good enough. You're good enough, boo. You got this shit. You got this. Fucking do it. Stop being addicted to healing, being addicted to be completely healed in order to fucking have the thing, the love, the relationship, the healthy relationship, the life, the business that you want. Stop fucking thinking you need to stay back here and just fucking step out. If you get a lump in your throat and you want to throw up, go for it. If you get boo-boo belly and you shit yourself, fucking do it. Clean yourself up. There's wipes. And continue moving forward. Feel it. Feel the fear. I remember when I launched I started to do videos and be more consistent, to show up more consistently. It was so uncomfortable. It took me forever to fucking get videos down and going. And even now when I first start them, man, it can be a little rusty to get those wheels going, but man, once I fucking start going, I can fucking fire them out. When I started doing started showing up, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna create this challenge because I want to really help people. And then someone fucking signed up. I had multiple people sign up. I was like, fuck, faces, I'm not ready. I'm not good enough. It's not good enough. I don't have this shit figured out. And I had all this fucking fear, and I almost said, no, I'm gonna push it back. And I said, no, I'm gonna fucking do it. And I did it. And I'm so fucking glad I did. Because it was powerful for me too. Same thing in relationship. I'm going to allow fucking healthy love in. And I'm going to allow it to trigger me. Sometimes you're triggered because it's not the right person. But sometimes you're triggered because you're holding back. of really opening up. I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to feel through it anyway. And you'll be glad you did. All right, that's all I have for you. I want to hear from you. What stood out to you? What aha moments did you have on this? Man, did you just fucking break down and go, oh my God, thank you. That's exactly what I needed to fucking hear in this moment because I've been struggling with it and I didn't know why I was struggling with it, but this is the thing. What is it? I'd love to fucking hear from you. And if you want help on how to let go of being completely healed, to feel good enough, and so that you can reclaim your fucking power and own your power and your identity, to know that you're already fucking good enough and you're already good enough with your insecurities and all the other bullshit that's coming up. You're good enough no matter fucking what, and you're going to move forward and you're going to heal as you move forward. There are many fucking ways that we can work together, whether it is free, whether it's something you buy and you do on your own, or we fucking go all in and we work together and you're part of the community. Let's fucking go. I'll have the links below, then you can figure out what works for you, and let's get this fucking happening. All right. I love you all. I'll see you on the next episode of the Laughing Through Life show. Peace.